The last few years have seen some huge advances in high performance and in science around how human beings get to be the best that they can be. And the interesting thing is when I look at that research, when I look at that, it's not saying, hey, osteopathy changed the way you do things. I kind of see it and go, wow, we're actually already doing that. It's just a case of being a little bit more aware that we're doing that so we can be consistent when we do it. And the example of this is visualization. And so when we apply this to osteopathy, one of the things that Anders Ericsson talked about was visualization. Now he's talking about what they do, they study top musicians and they study top chess players. And the reason being is because you could decide who was the best in those fields. In osteopathy, it's conjecture. Oh, that person's the best. That person's the best. No, that one isn't. So it just goes on. But in chess, there's a grandmaster. There's someone that's on top of the pile. And there's a ranking system. And in the same, in terms of music, there's people that go on to be in the symphonies and the orchestras. And I don't know exactly how it works, but apparently, you can rank and see who's a real top expert in music and who isn't. And one of the things that they looked at was what they did in terms of their mind's eye. Did they visualize? And all of the people that are at the top of their field visualize what they're trying to do. So when you're playing violin, they're trying to visualize the violin and the violin string and the shape of what happens with their hand, their movement in space, what's happening. So it's a very tactile thing. Now in chess it's slightly different. It was a mental representation of the board. And so it wasn't less of that tactile feel, but it was still visualization. Now if we come back to that musician, when we talk about osteopathy, you see as we get more experience that we have this tactile sensation. Yes, we're putting our hands on the body and we're seeing certain things and we're looking and visualization, but we're also feeling. And as we feel and we say pull on the spine, it's like, okay, in our mind's eye, that's what the spine's doing. We've visualized in netta or anatomy, that's the vertebra, that's the shape of the vertebra, that's all the facets, and that's how they move. Anyone doing a high velocity thrust, they're visualizing, hopefully they're visualizing what's happening at the facets so that we can be really accurate in what we do, really precise in what we do. So as we improve our visualization, our osteopathy gets better and better. Now, one of the unique things I think about osteopathy is because it's not like a chessboard where it's inanimate. I mean, the musician is still inanimate. Yes, they have a feel for the music and a feel for the musical instrument. But what happens uniquely in osteopathy is that when we visualize something and visualize it accurately, then the body responds to that and it responds better. And so we're just putting in blind force and kind of moving, the body doesn't respond as well. Any kind of technique where you're having a feel and you're really thinking, what's the anatomy doing, visualizing the muscles, visualizing the bones, the ligaments, the better we get with our anatomy, and unfortunately it does mean we need a bit of study around that, but the better we get with that, the more accurate we get, the more the body responds back to us. So it's a two-way thing. We get better in terms of accuracy, but then the body gives back to us and says, yes, that's on the money. And so this moves us on to those techniques where we go on beyond where we're moving the body a lot, we're not moving the body as much, and yet through our visualization, the power of visualization, we can get good responses from the body. This moves more into the functional field, this indirect type of techniques. So visualization is key, and you will already be doing this. Guaranteed, you are already doing this. But what I say to you, the point of this video is to explain a bit more about this so you're more consistent on it. And so when you get patients that things aren't going so well, think about it, okay, could my visualization have been better? Or was my visualization not accurate because something strange is going on in the patient? There's a muscle tear, or they've got some anomaly like a cervical rib or something going on, a pathology. And so what my visualization that normally would work with this technique and this type of patient isn't. And so it can also be a little bit of a warning sign. Okay, this normally works, now it doesn't. And so there's such richnesses to explore in this topic of visualization. I'll come back to do more videos about Anders Ericsson's work. There's other stuff that he's done that has huge application for us, huge application in the osteopathic field. We're already doing a lot of those things. It's about being more consistent, and when you get more consistent, you get more consistent results. For more free video training on osteopathy, see our Kindred Academy Facebook page or visit the website kindredb.com.